Okay, are we ready?
Absolutely not.
Perfect.
Welcome to Beauty, Business, and Bullshit, the podcast where two beauty besties talk about business,
client stories, how we make it through the day,
and all the bullshit in between.
I'm Rachel.
I'm Siobhan. Let's get into it.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Siobhan's sick this week, so enjoy my cold voice.
Cold voice.
Gross. I'm sorry. Yeah, so welcome to episode 5. Whoa. We're moving right along. Today's subject we wanted to talk about.
Sometimes in the beauty industry, your schedule is not always what it appears to be. And also your pay is not always very consistent. And although when you're in the industry, sometimes you understand that, people outside of the industry don't always understand that, whether that's like your friends or your partner or whatever, and so we wanted to dive into that a little bit today because we think it's something that people can relate to in a lot of ways. I think if you have a spouse or a friend that's in the same type of business, even if it's not beauty service industry, they understand. But I think it's hard when somebody has like that 9 to 5 Monday through Friday. You're an employee, whether it's salary or hourly, you're not having to worry about it, and you show up at 9, you're off by 5, you leave and you get to let that all go. You what?
I said, what a life.
Yeah. And that's the blessing of and the curse of, I think, being a business owner in general, but also being in the service industry. If you mess something up or something takes longer than you expected, didn't pull the right way, or that client had way more lashes this time than they had last time, or bad retention, or they break a nail and they need to come in, pop in, but you're already fully booked, but you need to get that one nail fixed. So you put them at the end of the day,
unknown variables that could happen.
Yeah. Or people show up late and, and so, yeah, we wanted to dive into that a little bit. So first of all, not always being off. I mean, obviously when you think you're going to be off. And I know when I'm telling my husband that I'm going to be off, it depends on what my last appointment is that day. Because I tend to be able to catch up, and I don't get super behind with my services being shorter services, because it's a brow wax or a lash fill or something like that, where there's only so much variability. But then I'm but I know I'm chit chatty, so that last client of the day, if my next client's not waiting, you're and sometimes it's not even me chit chatting. I know Siobhan's probably looking at me it's you. I'm I am chatty, but sometimes it's you're done talking, but they're still talking, but you care enough and you love them and you want to hear what they want to say, but you're also leave.
Yeah, that happens. And then sometimes you get done, you're not chit-chatty, they leave, and then you just sit and stare into space and decompress for 20 minutes, and then you're oh wait, I need to clean up and get out of here.
Yeah, or the cleanup. Sometimes you can clean up as you go, but sometimes one person shows up a little bit early and you're well, if I take them now, then I'll be done earlier and I'll clean this up after. But then they end up taking a little bit longer that day. And then, I know that especially when I first started doing permanent makeup, I never knew how long it was going to take me. And some clients would take 2 hours and some clients would take 3 hours. And so then I just sometimes thought somebody was going to be quick, and then they ended up taking way longer. And then I'm canceling people or pushing things out, or I'd get done early, and bonus for me, I'd get to just clean up and work on other things until my next client came. But if it's at the end of the day, it's okay, well, I can't go pick up kids after. So now I have to call my husband and be I need you to pick up the kids. And that can be hard because you can't just be halfway done tattooing someone's face,
It's like put a bunch of foils in someone's head and then be like, okay, well, we're done now for the day.
Yeah. Okay, go home and wash it out.
Yeah.
Hope
Come
it
back
doesn't
for the
fall
toner
out.
later.
Yeah, like sometimes you can't be done until you're done. I teach my lash students, like, make sure when you're lashing, like, go the couple on this side, couple on that, and go back and forth. But once I kind of had dialed in my speed, I got in the habit of starting from like this inner corner, because inner corners are the hardest. So I'd start at the hardest and I do this inner corner and then I do that inner corner. And then I'd start doing this one and then I'd start doing this one. But then you get like, you've done the inner corner and you've done like halfway to the middle and you have this gap and your time's up and you're like, well, I have to fill the gap. Don't, just 3 or 4 more.
Almost there.
And so, like, you kind of have to learn through that. But most of the time, like, that worked fine for me. But a couple times I'm like, well, shit, what happened to the time? So there's that. Another thing we wanted to touch on is like setting your business hours to like what works for people. Do you want to touch on that?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, but before we move into that, like, do we want to discuss like a little bit of like how to have those conversations and like set that expectation of like when you're getting off, or like how to understand?
I mean,
because sometimes it's a spouse, right? Sometimes it's family or friends, and they're just like, every time we try to hang out, you're running behind, or if it's like a spouse or someone you're sharing funds with, right? They're like, I don't understand how you made this much a week ago and then this week you're making like nothing.
Yeah, so like how much money you're making per your time.
Yeah, so like the time and the money, they're just like, they don't understand it.
Yeah, because like you could do like 4 brow waxes in an hour and that's like $100. But then like sometimes when you're doing lashes, especially when you start, it takes you a lot longer to do it. But you actually typically are charging less if it takes longer because that's more inconvenient for the client. So you might make $50-$60 in an hour and a half.
Yeah.
And so that can be hard for them to understand. But those lash clients are coming every 2 weeks, where brow clients are coming every 4 to 6 weeks. And so it's like gauging that as well. And yeah, it's hard for them to understand. So how do you have that conversation?
I think just explaining the differences, and then like, because I feel like some people are like, okay, cool, whatever. And then there's always those people that are like, I just don't understand. And like, you need to charge what you're worth. And like they're advocating for you, but they just don't get it, Yeah. I think just breaking it down for them. I mean, like, okay, well, I'm charging less for this right now because I'm newer at it. And then, it's going to help me build up more clients doing that so that later I can make more at it. Or, some services you might be making less per hour because it's a higher
chunk of money.
Yeah, but it's a higher chunk of money than like, okay, I could do like 10 haircuts in a day. Yeah, sure. And probably make way more money than if I'm doing like one full color correction.
But it's hard to get 10 haircuts in one day. You have to find 10 clients instead of 1.
Yeah. So then it's like, okay, so if I'm just not taking those services that are longer, that cost less per hour technically, but could give me a bigger chunk of money because I might only get 5 haircuts in a day instead, and so just explaining like, yeah, these shorter services might be more per hour, but the longer services are going to give me, like more money now, but also they're going to build more like client loyalty too.
Yeah.
Because
I was going to mention
we used to call it chemically dependent when they get like color services or treatments, because they need to come back more often to get touch-ups. Where like, yeah, a haircut client should be coming in every 6 weeks, but like, how many people do you know that only get their haircut like twice a year?
Yeah.
Or every 4 years, which
but like color starts to show when you're not.
Yeah, they're chemically dependent.
One thing I thought about, well, I thought of 2 things during that, but one of them was also people in the industry. Like when you're first starting out, you might not understand, and also your spouse might not understand, like, you have to show up for that one client that one day. And even though you're like, okay, well, I have to drive 15 minutes, it's a brow wax, it's going to take me 30 minutes, and then I drive home and I'm using gas and it's 1 hour. But you can't think of it like, oh, well, I only made like $10 or $20 or whatever. I'm like, you have to think about it as an investment in your business. Like what you're doing now, like once that brow client comes back, well, now you have 4 weeks to get somebody else on the books that same day. You know what I mean? And it all starts growing. And I think that's hard for people to understand. Like it might not seem like it's worth your time, but you can't think of it like that. You have to think about it as an investment in your business and your clientele.
Well, and if you're commission, like, yeah, there'll be times when you're working the same amount of hours because you're there regardless, right?
Sometimes.
And you're not getting as many appointments while you're building. And so it's like, oh, you just worked this many hours and only got X
like
amount,
had a couple, only
like a couple haircuts
spread out,
for the week. Like, yeah, that sucks. But when you have those haircuts, like, how are you building that relationship and getting referrals and getting them to rebook and like building, like using that time to truly build so that later you're more consistent.
Your books don't just like all of a sudden one day
magically
get full. It's taking that one appointment this month and those 2 appointments the next month or week or whatever. And then they all start, you know,
building
growing
up,
and falling on the same days. And I also think like your availability needs to be a little bit broader to be able to like cast your net wide, kind of grab whoever you can. And then once you've built that relationship with them, you can start being picky and they can start deciding, no, it's worth it for me to leave work an hour early to come and make sure that I can get
clients
in with
that are
you.
like, heck yeah, I want to leave work early to come see you.
Well, and sometimes they can't. And I've had to like, you know, not take certain clients. But then I had clients where, I mean, at one point I would take them at 7:00 in the morning. And when I was like, hey, I'm not going to be able to do that anymore now that I'm not like at home and just like rolling out of bed in my PJs and taking you. They made it work with their lunch schedule. But you do lose some clients doing that, but I could afford to lose them at that point because I was working with clients from 7 a.m. till 5 p.m. and then 11 to 9 the next day, like alternating. I was working like 50 hours a week on clients. Now I can be picky and now I can raise my prices and now I can. And so I think I started kind of narrowing down my hours once I was busy, but like, it's not a bad idea if you can to work nights, work weekends when you first start.
Always.
Because those are your paying clients, because they're your working clients and they're the ones that have money to afford it. And then you can start narrowing things down.
Yeah, I agree. I think too many people come out of school and they're like, but I don't want to work weekends. And it's like, that's like your biggest money making day.
Yeah. Well, when I worked at
weekends and then nights, like that's when the majority of your clientele is gonna come in.
Yeah, when I worked at the Brow Bar, like Saturday was building day, and I remember I worked every single Saturday for like 6 to 8 months before I had started going back to school and couldn't do Saturdays anymore. Maybe I still did Saturdays. I don't remember. But at some point I stopped doing Saturdays, but I was booked every day that I was there. When I got done with school, they were like, well, we can only give you hours if you want to work Saturdays. And I was like, I'm not working Saturdays because I don't have time to get my current clients in. Saturdays, you guys leave our books open so we can take walk-ins and so that we can bring in new clients, but I don't need to bring in new clients. Have the girls building take those days. Like, I don't mind working like maybe one Saturday a month, but I'm like, I'm not going back to working every single Saturday. Like I've built this and you guys turn my clients away when they call and book and you try to put them on the other days, but my other days are booked. I'm doing like 16 brows a day. So what more do you want from me?
Yeah.
That was a rant. Sorry.
Yeah. But that's because
once you Saturdays earn it, are the money making day. Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I quit.
So funny.
So then I was at a place where I graduated from school. They weren't going to let me offer the other stuff I could. And so I was like, it's time. I've grown out of this space and that's okay.
And my previous position with Ulta was a Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, whatever. And I only took clients one day a week and it wasn't Saturdays. So then like, yeah, I have a lot of clients that I don't necessarily have to work Saturdays either, but then I choose to because I do have some clients that like their schedules changed or things happen and Saturdays are the best day for them. But I've even done where, because for me, Sundays are also one of my most lucrative days, especially being in
Utah,
Utah,
'cause a lot of
where
people don't.
yeah, where nobody's working Sunday, and then a lot of clients are like, wait, Sunday is actually really convenient. And I always liked it in most of the salons I worked at because most stylists also aren't working Sundays, so it was like just me and my clients in there, like chilling, and it was just like a more calm vibe. But I started doing like every other Sunday, every other Saturday kind of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
So technically it would be like every other weekend, because when you're working like alternating Sundays, Saturdays, and your week is like Sunday through Saturday, you end up doing every other like Saturday, Sunday, but it gives you every other weekend off.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's, I mean, multiple ways of doing it. But again, when you're starting out, you want to work those days that are going to book you the most clients, and then rebooking clients on days that aren't those days as much as possible. Especially if you're not wanting, if you eventually aren't wanting to work those days, because then you're getting those clients used to other days. But also it leaves those days open for new clients coming in and building your book, and then, you know, slowly moving people to other days if they can. Yeah. And that way you're building something different, and it's a lot easier to get busy faster.
Yeah, like when I started taking away Saturdays, that's when I started being like, okay, before and after they have to go to work. And that's when I had started kind of working the early mornings and the later nights so that I could have my weekends. And then eventually kind of was able to wean that down a little bit. I mean, there's a couple clients where I'll work past 5 for because they're like my OGs, but I'm like, nobody knew. Yeah. I'm like, people don't get the same treatment that you get, but I'm not good. Like, there's some people where I'm just like, no, I don't mind working. Like, and I'm like till 5:30 instead of 5, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Like sometimes it's, okay, these are my scheduled hours, but then sometimes it's like, okay, yeah, for you, I'll do this. So, you know, there might be, like, I don't start my day till 11 because I am not a morning person, and I want to be able to like wake up at like 8 or 9, depending on daylight savings and all that crap, but have the time to like chill in the morning and get ready and not rush and get to work, set up, whatever, and take my first client at 11. Are there times that clients need to come sooner than that? Absolutely. Especially for like special events and things like that. So there might be like a random day that I'm going in earlier, but that's just also part of it, right? And knowing, okay, that's the worst though. Because I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll do it for you. And then the night before, I'm like, oh, I gotta wake up early. Yeah. But, you know, sometimes you shift your schedule for clients to accommodate. And that's also a great way of building that clientele, but also making money. Because if you don't go in early for them, they might not come to you.
And some like clients you just enjoy. You just,
I had a client start coming to me, you know? Who was a coworker's client because she needed Sundays, and the coworker wouldn't work Sundays. So she started coming to me, and that caused a whole bunch of issues with my friend that I worked with. But like, if they've asked you, like, especially multiple times, and you refuse, like, just know that you're going to lose that client because they need something different than what you're offering.
So either like be okay with it, but
be okay with losing it if you want to stick to your schedule, which is fine. I feel like
we can like do a whole nother episode on like that whole thing, right? Like the competition in the industry and like people following people, and like
it's not even a competition.
Well, I know that's the that's the point.
Okay,
that's
we'll
another
save
tangent.
That for another day.
That's another tangent, but I do think it can be hard for spouses like to like not understand like well, I had a dinner planned with my family at 6, and I'm like, well, you're going to have to drive separate. I'm going to have to meet you there now. Like, plans have to change. I'm like,
do not make reservations on nights that I'm working. Thank you. Bye.
Yeah. Really, though. I'm like,
just don't count on me. And if I can show up, great.
Like, and another thing I think that's been a thing in the past as well, and maybe still like sometimes shows up for me, is like, you have to be able to plan vacations in advance. Like you can't just decide you're going to take this Friday off. And if you do, then it's like, okay, well, if I take that off, I have to work late the week before and the week after to make up for that. day that I'm taking off to be able to like put them somewhere.
Well, and if you're doing that often, you're going to start seeming really flaky to clients and you're going to lose people too.
Yeah. So I'm like, no, like there's some times where I'm like, no, I very rarely get migraines, but sometimes I do. And I'm like debilitated. And I'm like, if I can't get myself out of it by a certain time, like then I just have to like cancel a client. And so next time I know that client is coming, or the next 5 times, I'm like, I cannot cancel on this client.
Oh, it's the worst when it lands on the same person multiple times.
I know. There's been one client, and luckily she's known me since I was like 8 years old.
Yeah.
That
I was gonna say, I swear it's always my aunt.
Yeah. There's been a few times where like there's 2 clients, one of them doesn't come to me anymore, and I'm like, I'm sure that's part of it, but there's also some other probably boundary things that were fine, that it just wasn't working for both of us anymore. But anyway, the other one, I'm like, I hate it when it's her. I hate it when it's her because and then also there's a whole nother like layer of that of like, if you're super flaky, then they think it's okay to be flaky.
Oh, absolutely.
And so if you start doing that too much to your clients, they'll start doing it to you and expect you to be okay with it because you did it to them.
Well, and it's hard. Like if you have a family like mine, they tend to plan things very last minute. So it'll be like, oh, what are you doing for the holiday? I'm like, nothing. And then it's like a day before or 2 days before, my family's like, hey, we have this big thing planned. I'm like, since when? Since today. And so, yeah, it's hard because it's like, yeah, I want to go do that, but I have clients booked already. And so, I had to even set that boundary, like with my family, like, I still want to be invited to everything, because at one point they just stopped inviting me because they never came. I was like, I still want to be invited in case I can make it work, but also I need you guys to be more forward thinking and plan ahead so that I know that I can like block that time off. And because sometimes it's like, oh, I get a last minute cancellation, and the first thing I do is go to my wait list and fill that spot. But if there's something going on that I want to attend and I get a cancellation, I can just block it out and then hopefully make
that happen
it work. You know, like sometimes it works out and I can still make it, but it's like also setting that boundary with like, hey, I would love to attend more things, but I need you to do things differently. But also, like, just expect that I'm going to have clients booked, so I need time in advance to plan for things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Because I know stylists, too, that'll just, like, last minute drop clients and move clients because it's like, oh, my family's doing this thing, or, oh, I'm going to go take this weekend vacation with my boyfriend. Like, I love being spontaneous. I get it. But, like, your clients aren't going to love it when they've been canceled 3 different times.
Like, don't make a habit of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Every now and again is fine.
Yeah. I'm like, is
work-life
there anything
balance.
else? Yeah. Is there anything else we wanted to touch on?
I don't think so. Should we jump into our stories?
Yeah. Okay. Stories for the day. Do you want to tell yours first? I told mine first last time.
Okay, I'll tell mine first. Okay. I wanted to tell the story about, well, this happened unfortunately a couple times to me. Once when I was in a salon suite and once at Ulta, but this time that I wanted to tell was a client who refused to pay. And that's just a whole thing, especially when you're at like a corporate salon. Like you can't just walk out. It's literally stealing. Anyway.
It's always stealing.
I know.
Like, I asked the cops.
Yeah.
One time.
It's stealing. Like I was like, so call the cops. Anyway, it was a whole situation. So what happened was this client came in. I don't remember if she called last minute or whatever, but when she booked, she was like, my hair is messed up. I need somebody that can fix it, whatever. I'm like, happy to help. What's going on? So she comes in and she has that like really thick Hispanic hair. So a lot of times the strands are pretty coarse, so it's harder to lighten, and then it's really, really thick. And so when you're cutting it, it just gets like, you have to cut it in a certain way so it doesn't look like choppy and weird, right? This poor client, I don't know what happened, but she showed me her inspo photos of what she originally wanted. And it was just like a dark brown with like copper balayage. And then the like a regular haircut with like maybe like medium layers. They weren't super long layers. Like she liked seeing the layers. But what she got was like almost like a shag, but like a really bad one, or like a jellyfish cut.
Okay.
Like the layers were so short and heavy, like right through like the round of her head.
Almost like when we were emo and you would like
yeah, but like on
your
purpose.
head.
Yeah, it was like that, but like also not because it wasn't razored. It was just like this is a layer, and then it was just like not as thick.
Yeah, yeah.
And then, I mean, that sounds bad, but because she had a ton of hair, thankfully, it was savable.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
I saved it. But her color, it's almost as if they like lightened everything.
And then did like a root.
And then did the root, but like, because it was like greenish. And usually if you're not filling blonde, it could be green. So I don't know if that's because she was lightened previously, or maybe they just did like a cool tone. But like, why would you do that when she wants like a rich brown with copper?
Yeah.
So the fact that it turned green makes me feel like they had lightened it, or it was previously lightened and they didn't fill it. So her root color is this like greenish brown, like it was horrendous. And then, I mean, it kind of coppery, but not really. And it was just a mess. Like the whole color, like I felt really bad for this lady, and she was just like so upset.
What are you doing?
Moon just wants scratches, especially on his booty.
I don't want to scratch your booty.
Well, not his actual booty. Like get like right here by his tail. Yeah. Oh yeah. That's his favorite.
He's just like sticking his butt up in my face. I'm like, what are you
And then
doing?
he's like, and then he wants you to like pet his tail. That's why he does the tail thing. Because you'll get to like here, and then he's like, oop, tail. Get my tail. You silly boy. It's like he never gets attention.
Okay, what did we do to fix this?
Okay. So I counteracted the green and did, a different root tone, whatever, made it not green. And then went through, I don't remember if I lightened more. I think no, because her hair was like pretty compromised. And it was already lightened. So I really just did like the dark root, and then I went through and did like the copper, but also the dark throughout to make it make sense with her inspo photo. And then
just like dimension.
Yeah, and then I texturized her layers a lot and just kind of evened everything out and shaped it.
Softened it.
And I think I did the haircut first because I wanted to like fix that. And then we did the color. As I'm rinsing the color out, it looks pretty dark. So for those of you that know levels, the copper that she was wanting was like maybe around a 7 or like 8. And it ended up being like a 6, maybe a 5. And then the dark brown was like really dark brown, like not black, but pretty dark, right? And if you know about porous hair, you know that it's going to soak everything in. And so, yes, I should have like thought that through and diluted my formula a little bit or gone a little lighter knowing that. However, the other thing about porous hair is that as soon as you wash it, it's going to wash right out. So really, it's like a give and take.
Damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Yeah,
they might leave happy, but they're going to be mad in a week, or they're going to be like, this isn't exactly what I wanted. But when it washes out,
it'll be exactly what they wanted. Yeah.
Closer to what I wanted.
So I let her know. I was like, hey, it went like a little darker than what we were going for, but give it a wash or two and it's going to be right where you want it, right? So we get back to the chair. I'm styling her. Also, she's like really nice to me this whole time, but she also like, you could tell is like,
what is this going to look
concerned and picky and whatever. And she kept bringing up the blowout and how she wanted it styled. Like that was the most important thing. She wanted like this just beautiful blowout. I'm like, I got you, girl. So while I'm taking the extra steps to do this like great blowout, she just keeps like looking. She's like, when they're like look a little bit like worried and they keep like looking at their hair and picking out pieces. I'm like, lady, stop it. Like, let me finish.
You just do what you can do with what you've got to work with.
Exactly. And that's the thing. Like, yes, did it go darker? Absolutely. However, I know that it's going to fade a little bit and then be exactly what she wants. But also, it looked so good. Like, from what she came in with to, like, her leaving, she looked like it was intentionally done that way. I mean, it was, but like it looked good. Everything was great. Like everybody in my store who like saw her come in and then saw her leave was like, you worked magic today. Like that looked amazing. Right. And while she's in the chair, like freaking out, and then we like finish blow drying, she's like, it's black. Like this looks black. Like this is black. And I'm like, it's not black, but like it does look darker. And part of that, and I'm trying to explain to her, you know, kind of the situation and the science behind it, and that she just needs to wash it 1 or 2 times. And then I was like, go home. I'm like, give it at least a day, but go home, like wash it this week. Wash it twice if you need to. And then if it's still like too dark for you or you hate it, like give me a call, and then, you know, I'll have you come back in and we can adjust it, you know, without charge, whatever. Because our policy was like they had a week to call in and like let us know they weren't happy.
Yeah.
And she was just like, it's just so dark, and she was just like, she wouldn't let go of it. Mm-hmm. She was just like, it's so dark and this is not what I wanted. And just like, I think she just like got, and she wasn't like super mean to me straightforward, but like you could tell she was just like,
yeah,
not happy at all.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know what else to tell you. Like, you can come back next week and we can adjust it, you know, but I promise you it's going to fade. Mm-hmm. Like, yes, it's a little bit dark, but it will fade.
Yep.
And it's almost like she just wasn't listening to me. As soon as she saw her hair, she just like went into a spiral and like didn't hear anything I said and was just like, whatever. And so I give her ticket. I don't remember. I may have even booked her for the following week already.
Yeah.
I don't think I did though, because I was like, just give me a call if it doesn't. Mm-hmm. But I think we booked her next one maybe, or maybe she was like not having it, right? But anyway, the way it works at Ulta is you print off their ticket and then they take it to the front registers to pay. So I give her ticket. She goes to the front registers and apparently is just like screaming at the cashier and was like, I'm not paying for this, and being mean to her, which she had nothing to do with it. So then of course a manager comes out and tries to talk to her and she's screaming at my manager and just being awful and just like throws the ticket and walks out and it's like, I'm not paying for this. And they're like, if you don't pay, we're gonna have to call the cops. Like, you have to pay today and then we can figure out like if we need to do a refund or whatever. That's one thing, but you have to pay. Mm-hmm. And she just refused and left. And then they tried calling her. I think got a hold of her. She yelled at more of my managers, whatever. And then they finally were able to book her for the following week for like the fix or whatever. They're like, we'll just have you come in for the fix. Like, no big deal. And then I'm like dreading it because I'm like, I don't even ever want to see her again. The way she just treated everybody. Like,
yeah,
I'm willing to help anyone all the time until you're mean to people. And then I'm like, I can't do anything. Sorry, you're stuck with what you got.
I'm like daydreaming about this. This is triggering.
Yes,
triggering
so
a story for me.
I'm just like, I will do anything and everything to go above and beyond for my clients. But if you're mean to me, and then especially if you're mean to other staff people, we're done.
You don't have to be mean to like get what you need.
No, exactly. Like, we will go above and beyond to help you out. But like, now you're screaming at people and being unnecessarily rude. Mm-hmm. And your hair looks beautiful. Like, it looks so good, which is what made me even more mad. I'm like, it's not even like, how did you act when you left the last place and you had freaking green roots and a jellyfish haircut? Like, you know?
I think she was taking it out on you guys instead.
Well, that's how I feel. I'm like, I understand that she's going through it, right? And this is like the second time she didn't really get what she wanted, but like, I had to work with not a clean canvas. I had to fix what was already broken.
Yeah.
And I did a damn good job at it. But so she came back the next week and I'm like dreading it all week. Like, anxiety. We already talked about my anxiety issues. This is one of the major ones. Is I'm like, I don't want to deal with this client. She comes in, she immediately like apologizes for how she treated everybody and whatever. And she's nice to me and blah, blah. But she also, I had asked her, she had an event she was going to, right? Which was like with coworkers or something. And, I was like, oh, how's the event? I didn't go. I haven't even left my house. Oh my I can't go anywhere looking like this. excuse me, lady, you look just fine. Like, nobody in the world will look at your hair and be like, that is not what she wanted. Like, what?
Yeah.
It wasn't even bad. I'm like, did you leave your house with green roots? Because, like, you seemed better with that than what I gave you. I was like, it was nuts. I'm like, okay, whatever. And maybe she was just trying to be dramatic about it. I don't know. Yeah. But then I'm like, okay,
some people are like that, though.
I'm like, were you able to wash it? And like, you know, how? And she's like, no, I haven't even touched it. That's your job. Like, you have to fix this. Lady, if you would have washed it once, maybe twice,
it would have fixed itself.
Literally.
So I was like, if not, then
okay. So this is just fresh how we did it. Now it's settled in for a week. Great. So I take her back to the shampoo bowl, wash her really good with a clarifying shampoo. It lifted a little, but not as much as I would expect. That's fine. I do a quick little, like, decolorizing wash with some lightener. Boom. Perfect. Do a little gloss. Boom. Perfect. Take her back to the chair, style her out in her picky little perfect blowout, and she was just like, it's perfect. I love it so much. And she literally like was like crying and hugging me and like telling me like how amazing I am. And she's like, I'm never going to go to anybody else. I'm like, please don't ever come back. Like, and was just like so nice and so happy. And she's like, no, I'll pay. Like, so she paid for like the full service from the previous week.
Oh, because she didn't pay the first day.
Yeah, because she refused to pay. And then my management team chose not to call the cops about it because they scheduled her anyway, whatever.
Yeah.
But I was just like, this whole thing could have been handled differently. But also, if you do that to me, now that I don't have managers that deal with that, like, I will be calling the cops and you won't be coming back for a fix. Yeah. Like, I'm not going to fix you when you act like that.
Yeah.
Like, you're being disrespectful and you don't deserve that at all.
I just keep smiling because, like, the brick story. It's coming, but it's not today. But it's coming. But I'm like, this is like...
But yeah, so she ultimately was the happiest ever. She booked with me. She didn't want to go to anyone else. I ended up getting my, like, district level job shortly after this. And so I let her know, I'm like, hey, I'm going to be transferring to a further south location. And she's like, that's fine. I'll make the drive. I'm like, dang it. Like, I thought this was my out. And so, but then I wasn't able to accommodate because I went down to 1 day a week, right? And so I'm like, well, for you to come in and get just your roots done, like, that's easy. I'll have the other stylist that works here to do your roots in 3 weeks or whatever. And then 3 weeks after that, I can fit you in for the whole deal. And she's like, okay. And then she no-showed the other girl. And I didn't know this till later, but I was like, as soon as she does that, I figure all the rest of her appointments that are booked are just canceled. Like, if you know call no-show, I do have like 3 appointments booked out. Like, they're all now canceled. I'm not going to keep your other appointments.
You didn't even call the same thing if you didn't maintain, right?
Literally.
Like, it's not the same appointment now.
So she ended up, she was on my books, and I feel like she wasn't going to end up coming in anyway. But I ended up doing an extension client, and things kind of went sideways that day, and I like needed more time. And also, of course, I didn't want to see this client. So I asked my manager, I'm like, can you give her a call and see if she can move to next week or like another day that I could come in and extra, like, accommodate whatever. So she called her and she was like, she said, don't worry about it. And congrats on your promotion and whatever. And that was it. I never had to see her again.
Like we said, if you're flaky for a client, they'll stop coming to you.
That was my way of like firing a client without firing them.
Advantage.
Sometimes that's how I fire them, and other times it's just point blank, you're fired. But that one just never came to see me, which honestly, with how she was, I
stressed you out.
Who knows? She could have just no-showed me even if I stayed at the same location, right? But it was just like
you that day.
The drastic difference of her like being mean and refusing to pay, and then like literally crying on my shoulder and telling me how amazing I am. I'm like, oh my god. The difference was like a quick little boost wash with a like I just lifted it 1 level everywhere.
Yeah,
that was it.
Easy.
And yeah, and she just didn't want to listen to what I had to say to fix it. So
there you go.
Wild.
Okay, well, my story today is a little bit shorter. It was a long time ago, so I feel like it was probably more dramatic at the time.
Yeah.
But it was like kind of a crazy situation, and every once in a while me and my client like refer back to it. So, I was working at Ulta. I was pretty like new to like the service industry in that way because I had worked for like a photography studio before where you just like you have a photo shoot that day, you're doing the hair and makeup, and then like you're done. So it was a little different.
Yeah, versus like taking clients all day.
Yeah.
All day.
So there are 2 clients that still come to me to this day that started with me 12 years ago. And they were like, the reason why I remember them so vividly is because like when you're learning all the things at the benefit brow bar about like how to reschedule your clients, and it's like really scary when you first do it. Like I remember like asking people if they wanted to reschedule, and people would say no and you let it go. But like these 2 particular clients were like the first clients that said yes. And they are still coming to me to this day. Like I'm sure there were some other ones in there, but I like my first couple weeks, like I remember them, being there. And so one of them is with me, and she would do brow wax and tint. And it was late at night. It was in the winter because I remember it being dark outside. And I think that I had this particular friend on the books, like, and just so you guys know, like my friends did not support me. Like I think we were all just like too poor, or like they didn't trust me yet because I was new or whatever it was. Mm-hmm. And so I don't actually know if she was on my books, but I think she was. And then she no-showed me that day. And I think she was supposed to be before this client, maybe like an hour before. And so I was like, okay, like weird, whatever. But all of a sudden I'm like working on one of my clients, and this client like walks in and she literally has blood on her. And I'm like, and this is my friend. Okay. So this is like the friend that maybe no-showed me, but I'm trying to remember like if she was even really on the books that day or what happened. But she's like, so I was driving and I saw that an animal, I think it was a raccoon, had gotten hit by a car. And so I got out of my car and I grabbed it and I put it in the back of my car and I rushed it to the vet, like the emergency vet, and there's nothing that they could do for it. And so then it died. And she's like,
is she holding it?
No, but she had her hands kind of like, I don't know, maybe that's not really what happened. But in my head, she was like
holding it in
maybe
her mind.
This is like back when I was like had blood on my hands when my son cut open his foot, and so I'm thinking about blood being all over me. But I like she literally is still wearing and like somewhat in shock from like having to save this animal. And like if you're an animal person,
I mean, not to be careless because I care about animals, but like do you know how many dead raccoons are on the side of the road in Utah?
Yeah.
It's sad. And like I like every time I see one, but I'm not gonna pull over and try to like
that is
rescue
way
it.
nicer.
It's probably
than
already dead.
I was gonna say. Just kidding. I care about animals, but like it
when I see like a pet though, like a cat or a dog.
A cat or a dog, I'm sad. But a wild animal, I'm like, 'tis what it is.
Quick side story. Side quest. One day, I was on my way to therapy, and thank God I was on my way to therapy. On a windy road out in Tennessee, and I freaking hit a squirrel. Like it like ran out, and it's like poof, and then I look at behind, like in my rearview mirror, and I just see it like tumble over to the side of the road, and I'm just like mortified.
I would be really sad if I hit somebody's like cat or dog.
But then I immediately had therapy and could talk about it, but I still was just like, I can't today.
You care a little more than me, but like it's sad, but like I just move on with my like if I had a dog or a cat and somebody like owns that dog or cat and it's like the love of their
I mean, I'm gonna try to save that animal, absolutely.
Yeah, then
but if somebody else hit a raccoon and I see it on the side of the road.
Exactly. I'm like I probably, if it was like a bird or a squirrel, I'd like move, like I'd move on with my, like I probably wouldn't think too. I'd be like sad, moving on.
Well, and it's sad if it's like still alive and suffering, yeah. But then
that
like
brings up another story.
put it out of its misery. I don't know how to do that though.
Well, that's basically I think what they had to do with this.
Also, I don't pull over for shit. Yeah. I'm a solo female driving along the highway. Like, no, thank you.
Okay, we'll have to talk about another.
What if it's a trap?
Hit by a car story, but not today. That one's a little too much. But anyway, so I think she came in. I actually don't even know if she came in to like say. I don't even remember if she actually had an appointment or if she just like needed to talk to somebody and saw my car in the Ulta parking lot. Like, I don't even remember why she came in to tell us this, but it was like, it's fine. Like, you know, and my client and me every once in a while now, like, will bring up like that one time your friend brought in, came in with the dead raccoon, blood all over her.
So what did she do with the raccoon?
Well, she had taken it to the ER vet, and I think they were just like, sorry, there's
care
nothing we can do, or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I'm like, what? Like, that is wild.
Go home, change your clothes, and wash yourself. Like,
I'm fine. Your appointment was 20 if she had an appointment. I'm assuming she did. But I'm like, your appointment was 20 minutes.
Maybe she felt like she had to show up and like show you the proof of the blood to like so that you know that she didn't just show you. Like, this is why I didn't show up to my appointment.
I've known you since junior high. It's been like 10 years. Like, you don't need to like, it's fine.
Do you think she's going to listen to our podcast?
I don't know. She might. That's fine. I hope so.
Shout out.
But I'm like, what a wild story. Like, how often do people like?
That's true.
How often do people try to rescue an animal and miss their appointment? You know?
Fair, yeah. I mean, some people have some crazy reasons for missing appointments.
Yeah.
And yeah, sometimes you're going to be like, did you make that up? So I guess if you show up with blood on your shirt, that's one way to get out of it.
This is one way to get
I can't pay the cancellation fee. It really happened.
There wasn't even
I know. I just being funny.
Like, whatever.
Maybe that's one way to get out of it.
It was just like a funny, weird thing to happen that's like notable, you know? Like, you never know in this industry.
What's going to happen?
What's going to show up that day for you?
It's funny. Well, before we close out, I wanted to circle back to my story because I forgot. I wanted to add that if this client didn't refuse to pay and whatever, right? There's always a chance to have turn an unhappy guest into a loyal forever guest because I've done that multiple times. And so in that example, yes, that client was like, I don't ever want to go to anyone else ever again because this is perfect. Mm-hmm. But I have my own boundaries in the way she acted. I'm like, I don't want to keep you forever. Mm-hmm. But there are just because someone's unhappy doesn't mean that you can't turn it around and end up having a loyal forever guest.
Yeah.
If she was nice about it, we could have been buddies, but
yeah. It's sometimes they make up for it and sometimes it's and really maybe she would have been one for life, but it's sometimes when you act that way, we can break up with you too. Yeah. I
don't need you.
Yeah. Some people do, and you have to put up with a lot more and you have to figure out where your boundaries are. Some people have to make money and have to make it work. But if you have the flexibility to not, then don't, right? You get to
even
decide,
if I need to make the money, I don't need that stress.
Yeah. You also get to change your boundaries. Just because you're willing to put up with it for a certain time period doesn't mean you have to forever.
And when you do that, get the people that you change those boundaries on will freak out. They're gonna push that boundary so hard. So just know when you decide to set a boundary and stick with it, you need to stick with it, and just it's okay to lose people, and it's just don't allow them to treat you poorly or talk to you in a negative light. I'd be like, nope, bye.
I have clients that I absolutely love and adore, and they don't come to are they even my clients anymore? I don't know. They were my clients, right? They don't come to me anymore because life changes, their boundaries changes, my boundaries change. You grow and you grow away from each other, and they go to other people or they don't go to anybody now. And I'm like, that's totally fine. There's some that they left because of one thing or another that didn't have anything to do with boundaries. But now my boundaries are, if they wanted to come back, I would probably say no. Even though like I care about them because I love all my clients, of course, but like it's just one of those things where you're like, I don't need to like have that energy anymore or whatever it is. Like, even though I care about you and wish you well, and you can be my friend. And if I see you, I'd be like, oh my gosh, how are you? Love you. Bye. But
Love
like,
you, bye. Yeah, no, totally.
But some people I just wouldn't take anymore. And there's some people where if I was fully booked and not taking new clients, if they were like, I'm moving back to Utah, I'd be like, yes, I'll take you on a Saturday or after hours.
I will make it work, please.
Yeah, right. But it just depends.
Yeah.
So, okay. That was a lot today.
Thank you for joining us. And if you want to share some of your stories,
we have
submit it on our submission form. It is linked to our Instagram.
So go to our Instagram, give us a follow, and share your stories. We'd love to hear them. If we get a lot, then we might not get to read them, but we love being able to relate with you. We'll
share as many as we can, but we would love to hear that. We'd love to hear like client stories or like your story in the industry or just a little bit about you.
If you have advice,
I want to get to know all of our listeners.
Yeah. If you have advice for
us, or
if you want advice from us,
you want from us, or if there's a specific topic you want us to discuss on like our opinions and experiences, any of that, you can submit any of that on our form. Okay.
Thanks for joining us.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, that's enough free business therapy for today. Thanks for making it this far down the rabbit hole.
If you love this episode, make sure to follow, rate, and share this podcast with your beauty besties.
If you have a client story, industry confession, or a business question you want us to talk about,
send it through the link on our socials.
Because honestly, the beauty industry gets weirder every day.
Find us at beauty.business.bullshit on Instagram and TikTok, or Beauty Business Bullshit on YouTube.
We are clocking out, but keeping the tea hot.
Until next time, may your clients pre-book and tip you accordingly.